Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. I'm super excited because today is launch day for my Heartland quilt pattern. It's a cute Americana, homey feeling, cozy quilt pattern for this summer, and it's also launch day for my Heartland Fabric line. So if you're interested in that, stick around and I'll show you more. So before we get started, I do want to say that if you like the quilt behind me, I know it's just a sneak peek. If you like the quilt behind me though and the fabric on it, you're probably going to want to pause this video, head over to my shop and grab yourself a bundle of either fabric, the pattern, or both, and then come back and finish watching it. In previous launches, our fabric is sold out really quickly, like within 3 to 4 hours. We did do a larger launch this time to try and help out, but just to give you fair warning, it does sell out really quickly. We have 3 different options available for you this time. You can either purchase just a fat quarter bundle of the Heartland fabric. You can purchase the entire quilt kit, which is everything to complete the entire quilt except for batting. So all the fabric for the top of the quilt, the binding, the backing, and all of that. It also includes the pattern in the full quilt kit as well. And then as always, if you'd like to use your own fabric, you can purchase the pattern itself individually. It comes in PDF or print format. So there's 3 options for you this round. Hopefully one of those will fit your needs. And let's go ahead and dive right in and take a closer look at the fabric. I'm just going to put up a quick sneak peek of the quilt itself just so you can kind of see how all of the fabric plays together before we take a look at the entire line. For this fabric collection, I was leaning towards the Patriotic Quilt. I love doing Patriotic Quilts every summer. I have quite a few now in my arsenal. I also have a quilt trunk show featuring all of those as well that I will link below. But let's go ahead and take a look at our fabric. So we have 2 different fabric options for you. You can either get the entire quilt kit, which is everything you need to make the whole quilt. So you get a full fat quarter bundle, plus you get the background, the outside border, the inside border, the binding, and then all of the backing fabric that you need. You'll also get 2 exclusive little stickers. One is the flag and house block. So that's really cute. Those only come with the full kit. You'll also receive a full color printed copy of the pattern with the kit, so you do not need to buy the pattern separately. So let's go ahead and take a quicker look. I'll take the fat quarter bundle apart in just a second. Like I said, again, here are the 2 little stickers you get. These are 3-inch stickers, so they're perfect for water bottles or your sewing machine, laptops, guitar cases, anything like that. They're high quality vinyl, so they're really nice color, and you can hand wash them if you put them on a water bottle, but you wouldn't want to put them in the dishwasher. Let's take a look at the prints. So here's the backing print. This is the overall cherry print, and it is a red, white, and blue cherry print. So really, really cute. And I'll show you how I did my backing in just a minute, because I did have to do a pieced backing just because I wanted to get as many of these kits out to you guys as possible. You'll also get enough background fabric to complete the quilt top, and I'm just using this low volume tan dots. This is a print I have used before. I'm loving using low volume for my backgrounds these days. I think it gives it a little added texture and fun, just a little bit extra coziness. You could also use a solid if you don't want to get the whole quilt kit. Then for that inner border, we're going to be using this aqua gingham. And for this collection, I wanted to give off summer, 4th of July picnic vibes. So I went with that larger gingham for those. So I think that was really helpful. And then the other print I did was this all over newspaper print. So it's like vintage newspaper ads. So it's all for like summer things like gardening and flowers. There is a sewing ad in there just because, you know, I thought that'd be really cute. And then somewhere in here is the Heartland logo. So I just kind of blended it in there. It's like a little hidden Easter egg. So I think that would be really cute. That was going to be for your very far outer border if you choose to do that. And then for the binding, I have this beautiful red gingham. So I think all of these colors go together really well to complete this quilt, and that's what you'll get if you do the whole quilt kit. So I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to look at the fat quarter bundle. Like I mentioned before, you can get just the fat quarter bundle if you are not interested in doing the full quilt kit, and that will come looking something like this, and it has 33 fat quarters in it. The only print that's not in this fat quarter bundle is the background print, this one right here that I just showed you. I just used these for the backgrounds for the quilt kit, so I did not add that into the fat quarter bundle. So we're going to just unbox this here and go through all of the prints. Okay, let's look at our fat quarters. We're gonna start off with the browns. I like having neutrals in my lines because I'm always using them for like leaves or trees, or in this case, chimneys and doors. So I like to have something like that. So I've got this cute stripe. It's got flowers and then little stars on the stripes. And then I have a little mini star print, which is really cute. This is great. It reads brown, but it's got a little bit of texture on it. And then we also have 7 denims in this line. So here's the cherry print. I wanted to have a lot of variety for you guys for this denim color because we are using this on our roofs, and I just wanted them to all be different. And then we're also using them as the stars in the flag units. This one is little tiny florals, super cute, and this is literally one of my favorite prints. I love doing smaller prints. We've got a large blue gingham. I think the smaller prints are a little bit easier to work with. There's those baby stars, and then here is our all over newspaper print again as well. So really cute. I love this print so much. It's adorable. And then we're going to move into our aquas. So I've got that nice chunky gingham aqua, and then I've got the baubles in aqua. And this print right here actually was in my last line as well, but I brought it back, and this is more aqua. The last one was quite a bit more blue. Like a lighter blue. And then here's the little baby aqua flowers. Those are adorable. My aqua newsprint. We've got aqua cherries. Super cute. I love the cherries. And as you'll see, I added the cherries into the quilt pattern as well. And then I've got the aqua little tiny stars. And then I did put a couple greens in this line because we have leaves on the cherries, and so I did want to add that in. And also, you can always use greens in any line, and I don't know why, but the green on my camera always pulls out as quite a bit more yellow than it actually is. It is more of a, not grass green, but like an apple green, like a Granny Smith apple. So I've got the baby stars, and then I have that newsprint. And then of course we have a lot of reds in this line, so I've got little baby roses or flowers. I've got the newsprint in the red. I've got the baby stars. We have our striped print. Here's the blossoms. Here's the little baubles. I wanted to do a lot of red options as well because I wanted to be able to make our flag stripes really nice and scrappy. And then of course you saw the red gingham for the binding, and this is just a really nice chunky gingham. This screams summer picnic to me, all of the ginghams in this line. So I love that so much. And then this line is also going to have a lot of low volumes because we use them for all the sashing and the stripes on the flag. So here is the low volume aqua of that newsprint. I love it so much. It's so fun. I've got a low volume stripe option. Might need to scoot some of these down. I've got low volume in the little navy flowers or denim flowers, the low volume baubles, low volume in the red flowers, and then here's the red baubles, and then of course the red and white cherries. And so for the sashing strips, I used a lot of these blue low volumes. I actually used the red as well. And then for the stripes on my flags, I used the red and white low volumes. So I wanted this line to have a lot of options for you to make your quilt scrappy. And not only that, but this fat quarter bundle is plenty of fabric to make the Heartland quilt, but it's also, you're gonna have a lot left over to make another quilt as well. And I do have another quilt releasing in June that I used this fabric for. I'm not sure if you would have enough, especially if you got the kit, you wouldn't have enough for like the backing and stuff, but you would definitely have quite a bit left over from the fat quarter bundle to use in that next pattern that's coming soon. So there are 33 prints in this. Like I said, I released 34 in this line, but I just didn't add the background fabric in here because we had so many of the other low volumes in there. But I love all the low volumes. I think it makes the quilt really soft and squishy. Love it so much. So here are all the prints that came in the fat quarter bundle. You can purchase just the fat quarter bundle if you like, or again, if you want the kit, you'll get all of those fat quarters plus all of the fabric to do the finishing for the quilt. And then you also get the 2 little exclusive stickers with the kit as well. The stickers don't come in just the fat quarter bundles. You'll also get the full color printed pattern in your kit as well, so you don't have to buy the pattern separately. However, if you don't want the fabric, you can still get the pattern separately, and that will be available in my shop even after the fabric is all sold out. So that's all of the fabric for the Heartland release. I hope you guys like it. I love this line. It's so pretty. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the quilt, and you can see this line in action. Okay, so that's all of the fabric in this line. Like I said, if you haven't already, pause the video, go over, grab your fabric bundles and pattern and whatever you would like, and then come back and finish watching the video just so that you don't miss out. All right, let's take a quick look at the quilt itself. So the quilt is right here behind me. The quilt is also called Heartland, and it features adorable houses with cherries on them. And the fabric, as you saw, has cherries as well. So I thought it'd be really fun to incorporate the cherry design in the quilt pattern as well. And then, of course, every other block is a sort of take on a flag block. This quilt finishes at 74 by 82, so it's a good size quilt. You could throw it on your bed, you could throw it on a quilt ladder like I have it here, put it on the back of a couch. You could also take it outside and have a little picnic on it. So I think this quilt's going to be a lot of fun for the summer. I would label this quilt as like an advanced beginner just because there's a lot of pieces in it, but it's nothing tricky. As long as you're fairly confident in your quilting skills, like you can sew half square triangles and sew along the diagonal, you know, trim and then flip, you should be good to go with this quilt. I think the hardest part on here are the cherries probably, just because the pieces are a little bit smaller, but even that is quite easy. We're just snowballing corners. So if you're interested in this quilt and you are still a beginner, I would say go for it. You're always also welcome to email me if you have questions. And if you're a beginner, I do recommend my Sew With Me quilt tutorials that I have here on YouTube, because those are really helpful for learning all of those techniques that you need. So this quilt is really cute. I've always wanted to do a house quilt for patriotic season, and I did do Vintage Glory years ago. That one does have a house in it. This one I just wanted to make a little bit easier and more classic feeling. This is actually the house design from our House of the Month blocks, if you did any of those. So it's a similar house, it just has a different motif on it with those cherries on the side. The cherries always remind me of cherry pie, summer, fireworks, enjoying the 4th of July with friends and family and having that cherry pie as your dessert. So I love including cherries in my patriotic quilts. As a matter of fact, when I did my chairberry quilt, it has strawberries and cherries on it. I ended up doing a red and white version of that because I thought it was just so cute and it just felt summertime and picnicky to me. So in this line, like I said, I did some nice big ginghams. Those felt really picnicky to me, and I kind of wanted to give that vibe to this quilt as well. They are larger blocks, so they're not super hard to make. They come together pretty quickly, and then you add those little cherries to the side, and I just think it makes it super cute. The alternating block is, of course, that flag motif, and we've got the Ohio stars along with some red and white stripes to bring it all together. And there's a lot of options on this quilt. You can make it scrappy, you can make it all the same colors, but for these flag blocks, I decided to swap my centers. So you'll notice that I've got a dark blue star with a aqua center and then an aqua star with a dark blue center. You can keep them the same. I'll put up a little screenshot here of what that would look like if you left those centers the same, and there's also information on how to do that in the pattern as well. I like to try and give you guys some options when you're making these patterns, and I always tend to lean a little bit more toward the scrappy. So I had a lot of fun mixing and matching my stars, and then also all of my stripes are different, so those are super scrappy as well, and I love doing that in quilts. I just think it gives it a little bit more character. So also along with that, I did a scrappy low volume sashing. Now you can also do regular sashing and just do your cornerstones in squares, kind of like a normal quilt style, but I thought I would just mix and match. I cut a bunch of different strips from my leftover low volume I cut a bunch of different strips from my leftover low volume fabrics, and I just mixed and matched those all throughout the quilt, so none of them were touching. That was really my only requirement. I did lay them out before I sewed them all together just to make sure I didn't end up with a couple touching at the end, but I did just want to mix them up and just have a lot of fun with it, and so I have low volumes all over this quilt. And then of course for the border, I used that aqua gingham for that just skinny outer border. I love doing that on quilts because I think it just frames the inside of the quilt really well, makes it kind of pop, and it's just like a picture frame for the quilt center. And then for the outer, I did my low volume. It was the newsprint, and it's in a light aqua color on a creamy background. I think it would also be really cute if you used a darker print for that outer border. I've done that before. I've done a skinny red border and then a darker navy border, which looks really good. But for this one, I just am loving the low volumes lately, and so I just did that low volume outer border, and I like it so much. I think it really helps the center of the quilt pop. And then of course I had to do gingham binding, so I did the red gingham binding on this. I think it looks super picnicky, summery, and I love how gingham binding looks. And then on the back side, for your quilt kits, you're actually going to get enough fabric to do the entire backside in that creamy cherry print. However, I am always working with my scraps when I do kits like this, so I ended up doing a pieced backing. I don't have instructions for that one in this quilt kit. Sometimes I will put them in the pattern, but for this one, honestly, my backing was just a little bit short, so I just took a piece that was, I can't even remember, maybe 12 inches wide this way strip of that aqua with stars on it, and I just cut my backing where I wanted to put it, added that strip in so that my backing was long enough, called it a day, put it on my long arm, and went ahead and quilted it that way. I wasn't even really very careful. It's not centered, it's a little bit higher. And then the only other thing I did to make that look intentional was I added my label to the center of that section. That way it sort of looks like the stripe down that center is intentional, and then it's there for the quilt label. So that's a great way to A, make your backings more interesting, but B, if you don't have enough fabric to do a full backing, give yourself some more space for your backing and then make it look intentional by adding that label. As always, my label is from Sweetwater Fabrics. I am a part of their tagged subscription. I love it. I've been a part of that for quite a few years, and I actually have quite a few labels built up. I probably could take a break, but I always love getting the new labels that they send, so I have yet to cancel that subscription. I'll probably stay with it for a while. And if you need help labeling your quilts, I also have a video here on YouTube on how to do that. It's really easy. I have a tendency to forget to label my quilts, so I'm always adding my label at the end, but if you think ahead, you can also sew your label into your backing before you quilt it. Now, just one word of warning there, I guess, is that your label will also be quilted with the rest of your quilt. So if you don't want that quilting on top of your label, sometimes it's better to add your label afterward. I added my label afterward. I also add my label with my machine. You can sew it on if you don't want to see that on the front. I never can see where I added it on the front. There is somewhere like a little square of stitching on the front of this quilt, but it's honestly kind of hard to find, and even if you're looking for it. So I don't worry about it. I just use my machine to label it, but if you do like hand sewing, you can also add that label on by hand. This quilt is fat quarter friendly, and so the yardage and requirements are all going to be on the pattern and in my store listing. And when you get the fat quarter bundle for Heartland, you will have plenty of fabric to make this quilt, and then you will also have fabric left over, you'll find. So I think you'll be able to make a second fun project with this. I will have a bonus project coming soon with some of the leftovers. So when you're making the house units on this, the roof has a stitch and flipped corner, and you sew along the diagonal, trim 1/4 of an inch, and flip that corner out. Well, your leftover pieces are pretty decent sized triangles, and I didn't just want those to go to waste. So as I was trimming them off, I just stacked them up as I went, and then as soon as I was done with my quilt, I went back and I sewed all of those triangle units together right on the diagonal line. I didn't take them apart or anything, so however they came off my trimming is what I sewed together, and then I'm going to be making a fun little project with those leftovers. So if you like using up your scraps like that, hang on to those leftovers and stay tuned for that video coming soon. So I think that's it for today's launch. If you guys have any comments or questions, please make sure to comment below. Like I said, if you're interested, run over to the store, grab your fabric bundles and kits as quickly as you can, because they do sell out really quickly, but you can always get that pattern. That pattern will be available in my store long after the fabric sells out. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that if you are a subscriber to my channel and you've been following for a while, thank you so much. If you're a new subscriber, thank you as well. We just hit 500,000 subscribers on this channel, which is awesome. I honestly never thought that I would see that day. When we hit 100,000 subscribers, I was super excited and I was like, all right, that's it, yay. And then the numbers just kept growing, and now it's over 500,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you all so much for supporting my channel and for joining me for all of the tutorials. I hope you are enjoying them, and my goal here is that you are going to have fun creating and learning something new in each video. I've also recently gotten a lot of super chats. I'm going to run those across the bottom of the screen here as well. Thank you so much. I do appreciate all of your support, all of your kind comments. We have a really great community here. And lastly, I wanted to make sure that you, if you haven't already, join our Sew With Me group on Facebook. It's a private group, so you do have to click the join button. There's a couple of random questions for you to answer and agree to the group rules, and then you will be joined in that group. And that's a great way to share all of our projects that we're working on and keep all the spammers out. So I think we're up to close to like 8,000 members in that group now, which is amazing as well. So if you haven't already, make sure you join that group. It's a great group. You can share all of your Erica made projects there and then see what other people are working on as well. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any extra fun. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful summer season, and I will see you in the next video. The alternating block is, of course, the star block, not the stars, the flag block. This quilt finishes at, we don't know, what size does it finish? I don't even know. So the Heartland Quilt finishes at 74 by 82. That's a lot. And then if you get the whole quilt kit, you'll get the printed pattern along with that as well, so you don't need to buy the, oh my gosh. I think I just probably need to use the other one. That's it. What you can't see behind me is all the stacks of fabric that are getting ready to be bundled and put out just for you.
It still needs to go. That's absolutely nothing. Okay.
Are you guys ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Are we not ready?
Are you ready?
You're not playing it.
GOG?
D-O-G. D-O-G.
Dog.
Yeah. Bodie, Bandit, come here. Bandit, come. No, Bandit is literally in the shop.
Bandit, come here.
Come here, Bodie.
Come here. Come here, buddy.
Bodie, come. Okay, hurry.
Okay.
All right.
Good girl.
Count to 10. 10, 9. Haley, raise your side a little.
Okay.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Stay. Come here.
3, 2, 1. Okay.